Acho, let's start with you. Has Steph's championship window closed with the Warriors?
Fortunately, it has. And your boy's a big Steph fan, been a big Steph fan for years now. But here's the problem, Sel. We all look at Steph Curry like, oh, wait, Steph hasn't regressed. Steph's still putting up 29, 6, and 5. That's the same stats he was putting up his MVP years, 36 and 5. Steph hasn't regressed. But y'all got to look beneath the surface. What they say about the iceberg, Marcellus, 90% lies underneath the water. You only see the tip of the iceberg. I'm looking at guys like Draymond Green. I'm looking at guys like Draymond who back when the Warriors were going to 5 straight and when they was winning the chips as well, Draymond was giving you 14, 11, 8, 12, 10, 9, 11, 9, and 9. What's Draymond giving you this year?
Don't say
8, 8, 6, and 6. Now, I understand you still got the piece that everybody knows, which is Steph Curry, but let's not act like Klay Thompson didn't once give us 60 points on 11 dribbles. I don't know if Klay Thompson's going to come back and revert to his old ways after tearing an ACL, tearing an Achilles. And Draymond, we already know his best days are behind him. Is Steph Curry still cooking? Absolutely. But will it take much more than just Steph Curry cooking for the Warriors to go back to their championship ways? Beyond a shadow of a doubt. And lastly, the West is a different beast now than it was. Clippers was what? Lob City back then. Now the Clippers got Kawhi. The Lakers were still trying to figure their things out in NBA purgatory. Now the Lakers got LeBron. Back when the Warriors were winning their chips, they really were going through the Blazers, the Jazz, the Rockets, the Spurs, the Rockets. It's a different type of beast in the West nowadays. I think the best days for the Warriors behind them.
Wow. Acho, how wrong you are, my man. First of all, I do remember in Oklahoma City out there, too, with Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook, that the old Warriors went through. But I'm glad you didn't diss Steph, because I think Steph Curry is probably better than ever. He's stronger than he's ever been. I don't know that in his prime, in the beginning of their dynasty, or even at any point in their dynasty, he could have done this, averaged 29 points on efficient shooting from the three and the field overall when they double and triple teaming him. You know, you don't have Kevin Durant to worry about anymore. You don't have Klay Thompson to worry about anymore. The defense is solely focused on Steph, and he's playing as great as ever. So he has not regressed at all. You mentioned Draymond. Draymond's actually playing well. You can't just look at the numbers with Draymond. We know he can't.
I knew he was gonna be.
We know he can't score.
Beef.
He's giving you 8. He's giving you 8.5 assists a game, which is a career high. And here's what you need to look at. The Golden State Warriors, Acho, are 7th in the NBA in defensive efficiency. Who gets most of the credit for that? Draymond Green. So Draymond Green is playing better than I actually expected without the other stars around him. Defensively, he's doing his thing, and he's doing his stuff as a playmaker. Here's the deal. Next year, they'll be contenders. I give you. You mentioned the Lakers. You mentioned the Clippers. I'm not saying they definitely win the West, but I am saying they will be legitimate contenders because everyone will move down a notch once you get Klay back. So Steph's the number 1 guy. Klay's the number 2 guy, giving you 20 points a game. Now Andrew Wiggins, who's second right now, he drops to the 3rd scorer. That's a nice 17-point 3rd score, and probably your 4th or 5th best player. He's actually playing the best defense of his career. James Wiseman, love him. Absolutely love him. Giving me 11.6 boards, great defense, athletic, can shoot, actually shoots the ball fairly well for a 7-footer. He's going to be much better next season. They'll be contenders for sure. I'm not guaranteeing they'll win the West, but they will be contenders. Last thing I'll say in this segment, they are what this year is about and why Steph went off. We got to stop getting used to losing and all that. They are all about teaching these guys how to play Warriors basketball. And they're really doing it. Number 1, they lead the league in assists. 27 assists a game. All right, number 2, as I mentioned, 7th in the league in defensive efficiency. So they're sharing the ball offensively and defending the rock. And then once they get Klay back, they will return to one of the better three-point shooting teams in the league.
CB, I got to talk to you.
So they'll be back next year.
I got to talk to you, CB.
All we got.
Because, CB, here's the thing, bro. just because you talk like a bishop doesn't mean you giving me gospel. And that's what I've learned about you, CB. You talk like a pastor don't mean you giving me this gospel, so I got to pick apart your message, CB. You said they trying to teach you Warriors basketball, CB. Warriors basketball was winning chips. Warriors basketball wasn't being ninth in the West. You know better than I, CB. Warriors basketball wasn't being like the 18th best team in the NBA. Warriors basketball was being the first best team in the NBA. But I think the biggest flaw.
But they don't have the talent yet.
And that's my point.
That, but I'm talking about the way you play the game. That's all I'm saying.
Fair. But my point is this. I can't bank, and because I've come back from injuries, never an ACL, let alone an ACL backdoored with an Achilles, I can't make the same assumption that you want to make, which is Klay Thompson will return to form. You know how the kinetic chain works, and if not, Dr. Wiley will definitely educate us on kinetic chain.
I love that.
I can't make that same assumption you trying to make, CB, that a 2-year older Klay Thompson, 2 years removed from ball with 2 major injuries. Like, worse than hearing SAT, the 3 letters you want to hear worse than that is ACL. So coming back from them type of injuries, I can't make the same assumption you want to make that they will return to form. That's where I differ with you, CB.
Oh, CB, let me referee this. Oh, no, go ahead,
I'll
CB.
give you that
I can tell.
quickly.
Sorry, Bishop.
I know Dr. Wiley's about to hit us. But I'll give you that. If Klay's not back close to what he was, 95% of what he was, then you're right. Then they're not going to win another championship or come close. But if I'm assuming you're right that Klay is 90-something% of what he used to be, they will contend.
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt you. Sorry, Bishop. But Klay coming back or not, no one knows. Because caught a Derrick Rose with a KD. I mean, the ankle, the Achilles with an ACL. We'll see. But the first thing I want to do is answer the question. Their window has not closed. Now, speaking of Bishop, my Bishop, Noel Jones, one day talked about when not to make decisions, when not to set expectations. It's when you're tired, you're angry, you're lonely, or you're hungry. Well, if you're Steph Curry, let's add to that list when you're undermanned. I got a Tesla. Actually got 2 Teslas. Actually got 3 Teslas. They roll well with 4 tires. With 3, haven't tried that just yet. You know why? Because it's not designed to do that. This Warriors team is not designed to go out there with Steph Curry alone and say we're championship contenders. I remind people that with Klay Thompson, they have an 80% win percentage. Without Klay Thompson, they have a 33% win percentage. So Klay Thompson is a huge piece that is not being factored into Steph Curry's frustration. And I remind you also that life and championships come at you fast, especially in the NBA. Lakers last year won with a first-year head coach for the Lakers and with a first-year co-star with the Los Angeles Lakers and AD. This year, one of the favorites, if not the favorite, the Brooklyn Nets. First-year head coach in terms of being in the NBA as a head coach on the sideline, Steve Nash, with a newly constructed team in his first year together. And a lot of people are thinking that team can win it all. So Steph Curry right now, I get it. You're undermanned. You're frustrated. You're angry. You're lonely. You're hungry. You're tired. But don't look at this team forward and thinking that it's going to be the same.
But fellas, let's not ignore the biggest fact of sports, which is athleticism is a depreciating asset.
True.
Health is a depreciating asset. True. CB, Sell, like, how are we going to ignore the fact that when the Warriors were winning their chips, Klay was 23, Steph was 26, Draymond was 25. Now Steph is 31, Draymond is 30, and Klay is 28, going on 29. Like, all these cats that we're hoping will be back. Remember, Steph Curry played 5 games last year. Klay Thompson has been hurt 2 consecutive years. Draymond has now been battling injury the previous 2 years. Like, they're getting older. It's not a coincidence that they are getting hurt. So we're playing this hypothetical situation where in this utopian society in the Bay where Klay and Steph and Draymond are all healthy, then they will be dominant. Well, yeah, but that's just not realistic because what happens when you get older? You get injured, and we're literally seeing that for these Warriors. So in the hypothetical situation that you, Marcellus, Wiley, but more so CB, in the hypothetical situation that y'all are painting, if Klay comes back to his 25-year-old form and Steph stays at his 30-year-old form and Draymond reverts to his 26-year-old form, yeah, they'll compete. But the fact of the matter is, all them days are behind them, just like they win in ways.
Hey, look, man, I'm not chasing Steph Curry's frustrations because Just on Sunday, they beat Utah, which is the team with the best record in the NBA. So, look, now you have some disappointing losses. Oh, you forgot about y'all just beating the best team in the NBA by record? So you got to have patience, young Jedi, old Jedi. If you're talking about a 33-year-old Steph Curry, wait till you have all 4 damn tires on the car before you go out there talking about what you're going to do. Until then, show some patience and teach these boys how to win.